Justin Bjornson, welcome to Steve Tees Off.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. I'd like to start off by saying Steve Tees Off is brought to you by riversidegolf.ca, and it is getting close to the Christmas season, and you can see that we have a wide assortment of golf balls here. There's an advent calendar there too. But this podcast would not be possible without riversidegolf.ca and the fine boys down there, Kenny Poirier and the crew. But Justin, I thank you once again for coming and tell us. Let's just start. You play golf up at SFU, and I found this out about you too, that we have something in common, that we're both from Manitoba, and you were saying how it was a split. For you, but the impetus of this podcast is we talk about everything golf, from junior golf to collegiate golf to pro golf, just golf, and it's one of my passions. And obviously, you must be pretty darn good, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here and you wouldn't have been recruited to play at SFU. But let's back up a little bit and let's talk about your beginnings in golf, like where you started and you first swung the golf club.
Yeah, growing up in Winnipeg, playing golf wasn't super popular for kids my age, because there's photos of me, I think even before I turned 2, like in diapers, holding like a little plastic golf club in my hand. It's probably influenced a little bit by my older brother, because he also plays. But yeah, my dad, he enjoyed playing golf as a kid and just kind of got us into a little bit, and I just fell in love with it. I played my first tournament, I think when I was 4, down in Minnesota, and have just
4 years old.
4 years old, yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so I've been playing competitive golf for, it's like 16 years now, which is like, makes me feel old.
Well, that 4 years old, you were playing competitive golf?
Yeah, I played my first tournament when I was 4 years old. I don't remember it too well, but my grandpa always tells me the story, because he caddied for me, and he said I cried like the whole time. I played one of like the worst. I think I shot a 51 on 9 holes that day, which is like one of the worst scores I've like ever shot. And he asked me like consistently, like, "Are you sure you want to play? Are you sure you want to keep playing?" I'm like crying. I'm like, "Yeah, I want to keep going." So fortunately, it's gotten better since then. But that was the beginning of it all. Yeah.
So what did you in growing up? Like you said, you roughly split. You moved out here when you're like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Or so. Okay. What did you do in the wintertime?
Man, when we were in Winnipeg, there was this thing that was called the Golf Dome.
I know it well.
Yeah. That where every winter was spent there. I still actually have it as a bookmark. It was my membership thing, and it was when I was 3 years old. I think I was the youngest member to ever be a part of the Golf Dome.
Well, the thing is, the other thing about like golfing, and I'm sure you would appreciate this in Manitoba, is the mosquitoes.
Oh my goodness. Don't get me started.
Golf is difficult enough.
Oh yeah, it's like you're putting, it's like you're smacking. Yeah. It's like something going on. It's like, no, it just got bugs there. It's everywhere.
And the one thing is that the one thing I say about Manitoba is that you can't talk crap about it unless you've been there or lived there.
Yeah,
you can't. You're not allowed to. We're allowed to.
We got the pass.
We got the pass. You get the pass. But it produces hardy individuals.
It sure does,
because you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And especially when with the climate the way it is, there's no place. Well, there is a place colder. It's Fairbanks, Alaska, but like I'm going to university there. There was numerous times in April we'd be playing football in the quad at the University of Manitoba, and then I'd be driving home to Morden in an ice storm.
Oh yeah,
snowing.
Oh yeah. I still remember like lunch and recess, it would be ski pants, full snowsuit, and we'd be playing soccer in like 3 feet of snow. And it's like, that's what I grew up doing. There's pictures of my brother and I when we finally shoveled enough snow away in the spring that you can see like a hint of grass, and it's us like in our snowsuits, like holding golf clubs on the side. So Beautiful. That was junior golfers in Winnipeg. You see grass in the spring, it's the best day ever.
Yeah. So let's fast forward here. You come out here, you move out here. How your brother, he's up at SFU too?
He actually just transferred down to Charleston Southern. He's in South Carolina now for his last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many years older is he then?
He's 2 years older than I
So
am.
you guys got a little competition going on between the
There's
two of you?
always been a little bit of friendly competition between the two of us. It's never gotten to be too vicious, but I say we've definitely pushed each other to be better. And me being the younger one, I always want to beat him because he's
always wanna
older,
beat-
and he doesn't want his younger brother beating him. So
No, not a chance.
it's healthy competition.
Not a chance. So you grew up in Winnipeg. You come out here when you're about 10, 11 years old. When did you realize that you're pretty good at this? That you're like that this is not like you got game.
Yeah. I'd say it was when I was 5. I guess it was like the second golf tournament that I played. It was called the Pepsi Little Peoples. It was out in Illinois. And I'd have to double check, but I think like Rory and a couple other like PGA Tour pros like kind of played this event as like a kid growing up. So it was for boys aged 3 to 5. This was kind of like one of the bigger events you could play in. And I remember it was 5 holes on like a little executive course, and it came down to a playoff. And I remember winning in the playoff, and that's honestly like when I think back to life, it's some of like my first memories. I can still remember what club I hit, how far it went, and I'd say after winning that, I kind of noticed like, okay, like I'm pretty good at this. Like this is something I want to keep doing. And the next year, it was when I was 6, there's this big junior event they have out in North Carolina. It's hosted by U.S. Kids. It's like the U.S. Kids World Championship. So it's pretty much like the best junior golfers from boys age 6 all the way up to 12. And I think I was tied for 4th the first year I played in that. And after that, I think kind of both like my dad and I were kind of like, should probably keep going with this.
Keep on going. Yeah. So you're out here, and I would imagine because you're playing tournament golf out here as you're 12 years old, you're 13 years old, and there's a bit of I would imagine some hype because you can play.
Yeah.
And you win in some tournaments, and it comes to a point where you're going to go to school. Obviously, you're going to go to school. What was behind the decision to go to SFU?
Yeah, it's like growing up, I always had my mind set on going to like a big D1 school. It'd be like ASU, Oregon, Florida State. But I went through a pretty big injury when I was 13 years old. It was in grade 9. That sidelined me kind of for a year and a half.
What happened?
I injured, it was like my left hip flexor. We got like ultrasounds and pretty much everything you could think of done to find out what it was. They didn't give us like any really like solid answers to what it was. So it's just kind of a year and a half of rehab, building up the muscles around it. And after that, I wasn't as good as I used to be, like when I was like a little kid. So it was kind of like building back and just trying to find a school to go and play at. And honestly, I think a big piece of it was having my brother already there, kind of put a good word in with coach, and the opportunity to play college golf alongside my brother. Like I didn't even really talk to many other schools. As soon as we kind of got like the okay, it's like, when else are you going to have an opportunity to play on the same team as your brother? So they made the decision pretty easy.
Yeah, and keep it, and you got a family member there, somebody that you can, and it's also home.
Yeah, and it's like I got to know a couple of the guys on the team beforehand because my brother's having them over. So it was a lot of people when they go into like their first year of university. It's like, oh, I'm trying to meet everyone. It was more of just like you're just kind of joining the family and what they were doing already. So the transition was pretty easy.
So you're finishing up your 3rd year?
I'm finishing up my 3rd year.
Your 3rd year. And as for, excuse me, I want to ask you this question because it has been in the news that the school at SFU was considering, and I mentioned to you before that my daughter played up at SFU, played ball, and it's NCAA Division II.
Yeah.
And there's been some talk about pulling out of Division II.
Yeah.
And just going Canada West and playing Canada West University. What do you think about that? You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone would like to stay in the NCAA. When it comes to golf competition, that's the best you're going to get.
Yeah,
so
I would tend to agree.
Yeah.
And what is somebody took a poll or something, or
I'm probably not the most knowledgeable person to talk about all this, but I know our team has done a great job of kind of rallying people together, getting petitions to sign, and we're doing everything we can to fight for it. And I think the decision gets made like the end of the month. So it's just kind of a wait and see and go from there. So,
okay. Well, so your tour, like the circuit that you play when you're playing golf up at SFU, what schools do you play against when you go down
yeah,
south?
it's kind of all up the West Coast. In the fall, we played, and it was Western Washington's event in St. Martin. So we had 2 in Washington State. and we headed down south to California in Chico, and our last one was in Monterey Bay. So that was a fun spot to travel to.
So explain and explain collegiate golf.
Yeah.
To those people that might be watching or listening that don't understand how collegiate golf works.
Yeah. So we go out with a team of 5 players, and we'll play typically around against like 15 different schools. And every day that we play, it's the best 4 scores from that round count. So if one guy has an off day, it's okay. And we do that through 3 rounds, and lowest team total wins. And of course, they have an individual section as well. So,
and how have you fared in these 3 years in your mind?
I'd say there's a lot of room for improvement. I've gone through a pretty big swing change after my first semester where I was doing pretty good, but kind of came to the realization of if I want to be as dominant in college golf as I was in junior golf, the swing I have isn't going to work. So it's kind of like a knockdown rebuild of going through technical changes, and then with that your game kind of gets lower. Then it's like the mental things of am I still as good as I used to be? So I'd say it's been a lot of character development over the last couple of years. And this semester I find I'm starting to find my stride a little bit again, but we're golfers, we're all perfectionists. It's never good enough.
and I'm a hack. I'm self-admittedly a hack, but I love the game, and I love to watch the game, and I love to talk about the game. But it is and I say this very, very often, it's the purest form of meritocracy. The best always rises to the top. And once you rise to the top, can you stay there? Do you have the ability to stay there? And I'm not suggesting that I can go out and shoot a 65 or a 64, but maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. But can you do that over and over and over again? And when you have those massive up and the massive down, it's like a roller coaster.
Oh, for sure. Golf can give you one of the most happiest, blissful feelings of when you win a tournament or you hit the one shot that you've been wanting to hit, and it can beat you down pretty bad too. So it teaches you a lot to grow as a person too, of handling all that, not riding the highs too high, not riding the lows too low.
A metaphor for life.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it is.
The more you play it, the more you realize it really is.
It is. And you can hit, and this happens to me on a regular basis. You hit a shot and go, where did that come from? That's good or bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
What happened there?
Yeah.
What did I do? Like, I wasn't concentrating or whatever it happens.
Yeah.
But who do you rely on though now when you with obviously you're playing at a high level. When you get down in those valleys, when you get real low,
Yeah.
what do you look to go and say, listen, you know what, I'm not going to, because you told me a story about your first golf tournament and how you were crying the whole time, but you kept on going.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what makes you, you're showing emotion.
Yeah.
And what makes you come back? Like,
yeah, that's a great question. And I spent a lot of time thinking about that, like kind of while I was like injured and sidelined from it. It just kind of questions like, why do I play this game? I was very fortunate to win a lot as a kid, but I think I also got to notice kind of like winning's cool, but it's not everything. And you kind of, I still remember I won this one junior event, and I was sitting in the back of the car with the trophy beside me, and I was like, is this really it? Like, I felt good for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. And I just remember sitting in the back. It's like, oh, like,
what's next?
Yeah. Like, what's next? So one thing that really inspired me was using my story of golf, and I kind of, and the narrative I built in my head when I was injured was, if I can come back from this and show people that they can work through something that was hard and that was difficult. And really when I play, I do my best to inspire people in whatever they're doing. So I actually started speaking at my high school during some of our assemblies, kind of once I made through it and everything. And I really just want to inspire people to help them in their journey. And when it comes to playing golf, that's a tool I can use to do that.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's a good answer.
Yeah,
that's an answer beyond your young years.
Yeah,
so that's an impressive answer. Now, the other thing that in the summer, when you have your time off from school, when school's done. What do you do? Like, do you play tournaments? In as many tournaments as you can, like the Vancouver Golf Tour.
Yeah, this past summer I played in 3. It was the Meadow Gardens Open, which is like hosted by VGT, and then it was provincials and nationals. So typically we're on like the heels of spring season. So it's like you're a little burnt out. So I'll take like a month off of tournament golf in there, and then I'll play a couple through July and August before we start up again in fall with school.
Now, tell me, like, what's a day like for you
Yeah,
when you're playing golf and you're going to school at the same time?
Yeah, Tuesday is my busiest day of the week. Like I'll wake up. I don't live on campus, so I have to drive up there in the morning. So I'm up, set the alarm. It's 5:10. So up, shower. I have breakfast made the day before, so I can leave as soon as possible and beat the rush hour traffic on Highway 1 because
which is terrible.
it can be pretty bad. So get up there, and then I'll spend some time reading the morning. Faith has been a big part of my life, so I'll read the Bible in the morning when I'm up there. And then we have workout from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then go hit the showers, breakfast, go practice for a couple hours, come back, have class, tutorial, and then I have to spend some time volunteering at a church in their youth group. So
busy guy.
Yeah, there's enough going on. I've definitely got a lot better at managing everything through the years.
Where does the golf team play out of?
Vancouver Golf Club and Meadow Gardens are the two main spots that we're at.
Okay. So these might be stupid questions, but when you do your practice, is it at the Vancouver Golf Club? Or are you in a simulator? What do you?
Yeah, when we're practicing short game, Vancouver Golf Club has been awesome. They let our team come out and use the practice facility there. So we've spent quite a bit of time there. And just if I'm around home too, I'll go. My home course is Northview. That's what I grew up playing while I was here. So if I have a day off where I don't have to go up to campus, it's like 5 minutes away from my place. So I'll just drive up there and practice there. So it's kind of just whatever's closest, whatever's most convenient. You go there and take care of business. So
do you guys, does the team ever use simulators?
Yeah, it's definitely more through the winter. We have a golf room at our school. We have like a TrackMan and like a screen set up. So we spent enough time in there. We get some practice, and sometimes we just go in there and have some fun and hit some fun shots and play some of the fun games they have on TrackMan.
Well, I had my first experience with simulated golf at House of Golf in Langdon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've had Matt Paulsenberg on here.
Yeah.
And Jared Simonoff, who runs House of Golf. And I'd never done sim golf before, and Matt made the comment to me that he thinks that it's going to be bigger than online poker, and then he proceeded to tell me how much money he won playing simulated.
Yeah, there's money in it for sure. Yeah,
there's money, but it's a different experience than playing
definitely
golf, like real golf.
Yeah,
like it is. It's something you have to get used to, and you've got to figure out.
It's a completely different game. You're not out there. It's much more fast paced. You can play 18 holes in half an hour compared to in tournaments. Sometimes it's like 5.5.
I feel you. I know. What do you think a round of golf should be?
4.5 hours. I think is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely not the fastest player in the world, but yeah, once you're out there for over 5, like it's like, okay. Like
that's enough.
We got to speed things up a little bit.
That's enough. So you were blessed with the idea of that you had accessibility to play golf. Like it was accessible to you.
It definitely was, yeah.
And that's an issue with especially here in the Lower Mainland now, is accessibility, is the ability to play. And I say this openly. I play the majority of my golf down in the U.S., like a little Mr. North Bellingham.
Yeah, it's more affordable.
Well, it's more affordable than I can get on.
Yeah,
it's more affordable than I can get on. And I usually I'll play by myself because I use it as an opportunity to meet people.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's one of the beautiful parts of golf is you can go and play with a random person. That's not weird.
That's right. It's not weird. Imagine taking a 4.5-hour walk with somebody you didn't know for no other purpose.
Exactly.
You'd never do that.
Exactly.
But on a golf course you do, and you find out the most interesting things about people.
Yeah. It's one of the parts of the games that I absolutely love.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so the other thing too is that how did you become the swing model for stick? How does that work?
I still don't know completely how I ended up on there. It was completely by chance. It was spring of 2024 when I got the first text message, and I thought it was a spam like text at first. Like you get these random things. It's like, oh, we're looking for a swing double for like an upcoming golf TV show being filmed in Vancouver. I was like, okay. So I respond. I'm like optimistic. Okay, like we'll see what it is.
Uh-huh.
And we keep going back and forth a little bit. I'm like, yeah, like what show is this? And I do some looking. I'm like, there's a golf show involving Owen Wilson being filmed with Apple TV. It didn't say where it was being filmed, so I kind of asked the person, I'm like, is this the one with Owen Wilson? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, they're like, this is legit. So from there, I happened to be the right height, the right build, the right weight, and it didn't interfere with college season at all. And one thing led to another, and next thing you know, I'm playing closest to the pin contest with Owen Wilson on set, and I'm like, this is this is a dream come true.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So how does a swing double, how does that work?
Yeah, so it would pretty much be like whenever there is a scene, the actor that I doubled for was Peter. He was awesome. Everyone on set was amazing. Like for me being like a young college kid who has like no film experience like at all, they were all super welcoming. And yeah, it was pretty much any time they needed, like his character would swing, they would film one of him and one of mine, and then they would decide in editing of kind of how they would like cut it up. So
Really?
I think I had the easiest job on there because all I had to do was swing a club, and I'm like, oh, I've been doing this since I was a kid. This is easy.
That actually, that blew me away. So how long that series was, how many, there was 10 episodes?
10 episodes, yeah.
episodes. So when you'd get a call, they'd call you up and say, okay, you come out.
Yep.
And we're shooting today.
Yeah, they give me a schedule kind of like
Okay.
a couple weeks in advance of what days they're going to be like kind of shooting at the golf course. And I would just kind of go out there, hang out there for the day. And just whenever they needed me, they'd call me over. I'd come and hit a couple shots. And they didn't need me, I just go over to a hole they weren't filming on and
hit balls.
yeah, just like chip and putt, hit some shots, play a couple holes. Like I lived the dream for those 4 months there. I cannot complain at all. It was free food, people coming and spraying sunscreen on you. I'm just like, I am not used to this at all. This is probably not good for me at this young of age.
That's funny. That's funny. So let's get down. What really blew you away about being involved in something like that? Like and there must have been a million things going through your head, but what really stuck with you?
Yeah, I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is just, I guess, just meeting some of these people. Like, I'm not like a big movie or TV show guy. Like, there's not like a bunch of actors like, oh my God, I'd love to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
But Owen, like, my favorite movie growing up, and it still is Cars, and he was the voice of Lightning McQueen. So the thing that blew my mind was how on earth Owen Wilson is like involved in a golf TV show, and how on earth I somehow end up there too. Like, I have a collection home of like over like 1,000 different like little die casts for the movie. Like, that's kind of like behind the scenes life of Justin. Like, I am a massive like Cars fan.
So you told him this?
Yeah, I waited like 6 weeks because I didn't want to come across as like a weird like fanboy kid. So I let it go out a little bit. It's like, okay, we'll talk golf first to get to know each other a little bit first. And he signed a couple of the collectibles that I had.
That's cool.
Looking back, that would probably be the most surreal of like, how on earth did this all fall into the place at the right time? And just from being on the TV show, one thing that was just like the amount of takes they do is like 20 things of like the same scene. They would nail their lines, but okay, let's try it again, but like slightly different. And I was like, oh my goodness.
That was pretty
like,
good.
Yeah. So just the amount of time and effort it takes into just creating like one little scene. Like, I remember one day we were out there, it was like 14 hours, and that was like 3 minutes of the show. And I was like, oh.
Wow. That's a lot of time for
like they're really good at what they do, and just the attention to detail and just all the little things that you'd be like, oh my goodness, like I wouldn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so effortless in how they create it. So it was a lot of respect.
Yeah. And you got to meet some PGA players, tour players.
That was also pretty cool.
Who did you get to meet?
I got to meet Max Homa. He actually, the fitness coach that's both that Jackson and I work with, is Coach Glass. He's around here. He started like just working with Max Homa. So I met him on the range at Northview the day before I came over. So it was that was super cool. And then I got to have a chipping match with Colin Morikawa when he was there the couple days that he was on set.
Did you win?
So we were tied, and then he got called over, and we have never finished it.
So that's on the burner still.
That's on the burner. I told him when I'm on tour, we'll finish it.
There you go. And so the other thing too, I love your runner.
Thank you.
Like, if you can't see it, and they say better every day.
Yep.
Where'd you get those?
These are actually a custom ones that I have. I actually started an Instagram account called it's better every day underscore for life. And that was kind of inspired from like the time of when I was injured and started speaking. And once I graduated high school, I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna have as much time to kind of go speak in person with how busy I'm gonna be with school. So I started an Instagram account where I'll share like anywhere from like a 30-second to like 2-minute kind of inspirational video, and did that to hopefully keep in touch with some of my high school buddies and just try to reach a bit of
And you're
a
still
larger
doing
audience. Still doing it, yeah.
and no plans to quit.
No,
Just keep
no,
at it.
exactly.
So let's talk about once you finish school. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I want to hear you say it.
Yeah.
Once you're finished school, what you know it's going to be a grind.
Oh yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And where do you see yourself staying here? You obviously I shouldn't say obviously because you have to answer the question.
Okay.
What's next after school?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give pro golf a shot. I know it's gonna be a hard road, and when I was younger, I'm like, oh, 100%, like I'm definitely gonna be a pro golfer. Like I couldn't picture anything else. But now you kind of see the reality of it. Not that it's like dampened my spirit of like, oh, I can't do this, but just kind of the realization of you need a lot of things to fall into the place at the right time. And I've played for so long, I wouldn't want to live with the regret of not trying.
Mhm.
So I'll definitely give that a shot, see where it goes. Ideally, if you're able to make it, get onto even like the Corn Ferry, ideally the PGA, because
That's the show.
it's where the best players are.
Mhm.
I would love to go and do that, but I've also really have fallen in love with public speaking. So I don't know exactly where that would all take me, but I want to do something where I'm able to inspire people with whatever I do.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a very good response to that. Just remember this when you do make it. Remember the little guy at Steve T's off here when you're at the show, when you're actually playing. One of the things I say this, and it's ad nauseum to wrap things up, but the Fortinet was just recently here.
Yeah.
And we've had Brad Ewart on a couple of times, and I was because of my my background in media, I was picking up some passes that and it was I think it was Tuesday morning, 7:30, and I literally saw guys brushing their teeth and getting out of their car, and I was thinking to and it's still cool out, and you can see the mist coming up from the range, and I'm going, you forget how committed you have to be to do that. To actually, and I'm not suggesting any of them slept in their car, and I've said this before.
Yeah.
Okay, but some could have.
Oh,
and
for sure.
if you don't win, you're eating beans, or whatever it is that, and it's not like everybody has a tree where money grows.
Yeah.
It's a commitment.
It's a grind.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go in, and sometimes they don't go in.
Yep.
But you got to give it a whirl. You got
100%.
But I love your shoes.
Thank you.
Better every day. Now, on wrapping things up here, I want to ask you, what's the funniest thing, or a couple of moments on the golf course where you were just completely shocked or surprised, or you were funny? Like what's the funniest thing that you've seen? Because you've been playing golf since you were 4 years old. You've been in tournament golf. What's the funniest thing that you've seen?
That's a great question. I guess just like some unfortunate things, like just how people's golf clubs end up in ponds, like when they're on push cart and they'll just like fall off into the side of the water. I've seen that twice, and sometimes I wonder, just like, you just wonder, like, how on earth does that happen? Or like just some shots that your buddies will hit where, like, I'll still go out and play with my buddies who are just starting out. Like sometimes it's surprising from how good they hit it sometimes, and it's like sometimes like I've never seen anyone hit a golf shot like that before, and it's like,
well, that's the one thing about golf, is that you never know what you're going to see, because how the sort of leave it on this, but the power carts, those with the remote control, I've actually seen somebody put one right into the water.
Oh yeah,
and you go blank stare, going like, I think that's probably the worst thing that you can do. It's battery powered, and you
put in the water.
You put it in the water.
Yeah. And it's even just some of the shots you hit. It's like some shots I hit and I'm laughing because I don't know how on earth I just hit that, whether it's like an escape shot from the trees, and it's like, I can't believe I hit that. And then sometimes you hit a shot so bad you can't do anything but laugh because it was that bad.
And that's what you have to do.
And you're capable of doing both.
That's right.
The beautiful part of golf.
That's right. So having said that, I would like to, Justin, I would like to thank you for coming and having a chat with us.
Thanks for having me on.
This
was awesome.
We're going to follow you. I would like to thank riversidegolf.ca for sponsoring. Ken Poirier, please do subscribe to Steve Tees Off. We're certainly going to be following your career now that we've met and we've talked, and wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thanks for having me on. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Justin.